Hey, it's Phil from Walmart, Right Lane Trucking, coming at you on Hump Day. It's Hump Day. Everybody else is Wednesday, my Monday. Hey, John, if you're watching this, you jinxed me, man. You jinxed me. You had to talk about going the other way. All right, I started and you'll know in a second, John, what I'm talking about. All right, I started my week, and as you can see, I'm in one of my program tractors. Yeah, this is the one I left the power cord in, and I actually had to search for it today because my co-drivers, co-partners, my roommates, whatever you want to call it, that used it the last 2 weeks, or last week, whatever. I guess they didn't like the blue lights. So I got to remember to pull that plug every time. Anyway, I found it, got it hooked up, and it's all working, so good to go. So today I walked in and got in the tractor after getting everything moved in, fixing the lights issue, checked my dispatch, and to my surprise, I had a load from Sacramento to go to a store in Marysville. Gosh, I hadn't been to that Marysville store since my second week of mentoring. So 6 months, a little less than 6 months ago, I was there. So almost 6 months since I've been to that store. The first time I took a grocery load, this time it was a GM load. It was just a drop-in hook. And then from there, go to McCarran, Nevada. And wow, they got a lot of snow. They got, I think from the reports I saw, at some points it got like 3 feet of snow or 36 inches of snow is what the weather folks were saying, and a lot of it's still there. So some of the ski resorts are going to be opening up in the next week or two to start doing their ski season. But the thing about that is some of them got hit by the fires, so they're not going to be able to open up all of it. So that sucks for them. I really want to go skiing this season, so I might have to see if I can get some PTO time like I talked about yesterday and go skiing. If not, just use my 3-day weekend and just go. Our son likes to snowboard. Maybe I take him and him and I go, because my wife has a problem with her knee, so she can't be up there on the slopes at this time. So, all right, so I took that to Marysville, then went to McCarran and got to look at all the pretty white stuff on the side of the road. The road was clear, little wet from the melting ice, melting snow, but other than that, it was pretty good. So John hits me up and puts a response in there. Oh, they used to make us go all the way up to 395 and come through Redding to come back down I-5 when the Donner is closed. So the Donner's not closed, but I got my dispatch, and yeah, my dispatch called for me to go to Crescent City, California. For anybody that doesn't know where Crescent City is, it is along the coast, all the way on the northwest corner of California. And from McCarran, you get to go through some pretty back roads, and I'm playing that right there. I did a little bit filming with the dash cam today, and looking at the dash cam footage, it didn't show the beauty that it actually was. So the leaves are changing because of fall, and so you got the reds and the oranges and the kind of the yellows, and it actually looked really, really good. And I'm guessing if it was earlier in the day and I had more sun, those leaves would have been popping a little bit more. But still a beautiful drive. This is the same route that I took when I went to Wairika a few videos ago, quite a few videos ago now, but Wairika, and I was counting how many deer I saw, and I talked about wildlife and everything else. So what you do is you take I-80 west, and then exit 15, you take 395 north. 395 north turns into 36. You go towards Susanville. So you go through Susanville. Once you're through Susanville, you come up the hill and you're on 36. You have to turn right on the State Route 44 and you take that north. 44, now you got to be careful with 44 because almost to the end of it, you come around a corner and there is it says 45 miles an hour for trucks, and you really need to go 45 miles an hour. At least I do, because the cliff scares the heck out of me when I'm going up there. There's only a new section right now that's got a new section of guardrail, but there's not a whole lot of guardrail. Not that a guardrail is going to do much to stop a big rig that's out of control going off the side, but it's a sure cliff down, and if you go off that side, you might not be found for a while. They're gonna go, Phil who? Where did he go? I would imagine my dash cam, the sensor on the Walmart dash cam would go off, and maybe they would find me. I don't know, but I don't want to find out. So it's a pretty steep down, and then you come down, and so you get off of 44, you make a right and get on 89 north, and 89 north, and then you take that to 299, State Road 299 going west, and that takes you through Bernie. Once you're through Bernie, you're heading towards Redding. From Redding, you're coming across I-5, and you're staying on 299 in order to go towards Eureka from Redding. And then once you get across to the coast, then you go north and just follow that up through the redwoods and get into Crescent City. Now, I've only been to Crescent City one other time, and that was like way back in the beginning as well. When I was first mentoring in the sleeper, our first trip that we took and we went to McCarran, they tried to give us Crescent City. And the CDT that was with me, my mentor, he called somebody and said, look, we're not going to do Crescent City. We need to get him, some other kind of things, but not Crescent City, because that's an all-day kind of thing, and it's not worth it for us to do that. I need to show him more things, basically. So they took that off and they gave us something else. And I think they gave us, I'm positive this is what they gave us. They gave us the Redding store, and then the Red Bluff store, and then we went to Red Bluff and what have you. So he was trying to get me into Red Bluff and trying to get me to all the DCs and stuff like that, so that I learned how each of them work. But I did, after I became solo and I got qualified and I was solo, I did, near the beginning of my solo part, I got Crescent City again. And so I did that. Crescent City, the 299 basically SR 299. The time I took it last time, I already gone the route that I just described. And I decided I wasn't going to do that. I was the captain of the ship, and I wasn't going to do it. I was going to take I-80 all the way across towards Roseville, and then cut across 65, and I overnighted in Chico. From Chico, I got up and then drove all the way to Crescent City, and then I ended up overnighting at a rest area on 101 for that night because I started in Chico, and just I wasn't going to drive through the pass on 299 at night. I just didn't feel I wanted to at that time. You know, with Walmart being like brand new, I didn't want anything to happen. So I decided to stay over at the rest area, and then in the morning, then I got up and came across during the daylight hours. Now, SR 299, 89, 44, even 36 to some parts, but is not for the faint of heart. Even on a good day, like a sunny day, it's a lot of windy, turning, up and down terrain. They're mountains. You're going through each of these passes, and you got to control your speed up, control your speed down, around the corners, and some of them you're getting pretty close to the cliff faces and everything else. So you really got to stay in your lane. Then you got oncoming traffic, and at night with the headlights coming at you on a 2-lane road, it makes it even that much tougher. So I got through. I stopped in Bernie for my meal, my second meal, and then got on the road, and that's where it was all right. I mean, from Bernie to I-5, there's a lot of windy road, and I got a couple trucks, semis that got behind me, but we had a passing lane, and they were able to pass me, and they were happy because I wasn't going as fast as they are. I'm not as experienced on that 299 as they seem to be, and I am not going to go zip, 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 and zip, 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 and around the corners like they have. Now they were driving an empty flatbed. I'm driving a dry van, you know, that's a lot higher, taller. So going around corners, for them, I'm not saying they won't spin out, they can't jackknife or do anything stupid, but I have to worry about tipping over on these corners as well. They don't have that tip hazard as like I do, because they're empty. So there you have it. So I got across I-5, and I had already picked out a spot that I was gonna try to get to, and I got to it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get to it and then I'll decide if I want to go any further, and I'll try to find another spot, because once you're on 299, there's not a whole lot of spots that you can stop and park for the overnight. And I knew I wasn't going to make it all the way across at night. One of the reasons is they are doing some work between Burnt Ranch and Big Bar or something like that. And they were escorting from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. escorting vehicles through to get them through. And I guess between 7 or 1900 at night to 7 in the morning, it's a one-way control, so you have probably the one-way red light system, and you wait for the green light on your side and then you go. But I don't know this area that well, and I don't want to go and try to watch my clock and try to find a spot later. So I already found this spot. I said, this is where I'm going to go, and this is where I'm going to park for the night. It's a nice big open area, and off to the side of the road. So that's where I'm at. I don't really have service here So I'm doing the video tonight. However, I won't be able to upload it till I get some service. And you guys will be seeing this tomorrow, sometime in the morning, sometime in the afternoon, be loaded up because I have no service here. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. So where am I at? So on the map, Lewiston is right up north of me from here. And again, I'm on SR 299, and just at like one of the pullouts. It's kind of like a pullout, almost like a chain up area, even if you want to call it that. So I drove today. Might not seem like a lot, but I drove 477 miles. I mean, before I even got to McCarran, I had over 200. Because I went to Marysville, and then from Marysville to McCarran was 163 miles. So that gave me 212 right as I got there. And so I put another 250 something on it from McCarran to here. From McCarran to Crescent City, kind of give you an idea, is 455 miles or something like that. And I've got 184 miles left of it. So I did a lot of it today, but I wasn't going to go all the way. I wasn't going to make it all the way because I knew going in that the speeds going through 299 are going to be greatly reduced, and they're 35, 40, 45, 50 tops. A lot of places is 50 tops for semis. Some of them go 55, some go 60. It just depends. I'm not going to do that at night, obviously. And then that construction that I'm going to get into in the morning, that'll delay me as well when I get into it. Hopefully I hit it at the right time. And my direction is the one going. And I don't have to wait a long distance or a long amount of time. And hopefully people take the day off, because tomorrow's Thursday, so maybe they're taking the weekend off. I don't know. But so that's where I'm at. That's what I've got today. Not a whole lot of activity, I mean, I've got the hook when I first got to Sac, then the arrive drop, and then the other hook, arrive drop, and then another hook. So I got 3 hooks and 2 arrive drops and 477 miles on for today. So yeah, nothing else you can do. All right, guys, I'm gonna probably go to the bed early because I can't get on YouTube, I can't do Instagram, I can't look at anything because I have no internet service up here. So I'm just gonna get some extra rest tonight because I'm already off the clock on my 10. Matter of fact, I couldn't even end my day on end transit, so I'm gonna have to, once I get some service, end day, start day, and then adjust the time later in there. Now my log, the hours of service part, it has a functionality that it saves it to the device, so that when you get service, it loads it up. N-Transit doesn't do that. You have to have service for N-Transit to work, which is your dispatch system. So, and that's also your time clock. So that's how you start your day, end your day, meals, all that. So if you're in a location like I'm at right now that I have no service, then you just got to do some edits on your basically your time card later. So that's what I'm going to do. There's nothing else I can do. Anyway, this is Phil from Walmart. Oh, safety tip. Again, I will say this again and again and again and again, and I know this seems like a broken record, but as I just mentioned throughout this whole thing, I went through SR 299. 299 is a lot of windy roads, a lot of turns, narrow, 2 lanes, and I'm driving at nighttime. So if you're not comfortable, slow down, right? Just slow down. Take your time. If that car or truck behind you is getting upset, remember, they are not paying your bills. You have to stay safe. If you're laid up in the hospital, you're not going to be able to pay your bills. I watched the news this morning, and unfortunately there was this gentleman that it was 40 something years old, and he had came down with COVID, and it put him in the hospital, and it affected him so much, his lungs and his respiratory, that he is not the person he was before it. He's still alive and he's at home, but he is under a lot of therapy right now, and he can barely stand, hardly walk, because he loses energy, his breath, his everything. And so what I'm trying to get at is, he used to work 2 jobs, and now his family has to pick up and try to do more, and while still taking care of him. And the hospital was kind enough to say, whatever isn't covered by your insurance, we got you. So that's great. They don't have to worry about hospital bills, but they have to worry about everything else going forward, and how they're going to live, and how they're going to eat, and their rent, and their, everything. So going back, I had a guy behind me that was just riding my rear end. It's a little 4-wheeler, bright lights, everything else, and hey, he's not paying my bills, and he's definitely not going to be in my house helping me if we crash, or I crash, and now I'm in the hospital, or I'm in traction at home. He's not going to be the one helping me. So I'm not worried about him in the behind me. I'm only worried if he tries to do something stupid like pass me. Then I'm gonna have to adjust my driving to accommodate for his poor choice. So slow down, go the speed that you need and feel comfortable, and once you get to a pullout, you can pull out and let that person pass. Or once you get to a passing lane, they will pass you. Allow them to pass you. That way you can continue going your speed. So again, stay safe, everyone. This is Phil from Walmart, Right Lane Trucking. Leave a comment, subscribe, share, do that whole thing for me. I'm trying to build up my subscribers and my views and everything else, and you guys will help me do this, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Good night.